Most citizens have a basic understanding of how elections work in their own country, but they do not think much about the mechanisms through which elections function, especially if they follow the normal patterns. To use an illustration from the United States, American voters did not think much about how their president was elected following most of the elections at the end of the 20th century. The person who received the most votes simply became president. Then, in 2000, Al Gore won the most votes, but George W. Bush won the election after the Supreme Court intervened during the counting of votes in Florida and awarded that state's electoral votes to Bush. Hardly a normal election, the Bush-Gore contest caused Americans to ask questions about the process through which their national leader was chosen. Why were there challenges surrounding the counting of votes, the infamous hanging chads, in one state and not in others? How could the winner of the popular vote not win in the Electoral College? And why did the highest court in the country get involved in the determination of the winner? Again, in 2016, the winner of the popular vote in the U.S. presidential election did not win the majority of the Electoral College votes, allowing Donald Trump to prevail over Hillary Clinton. Voters again had questions about the outcome, and certainly nothing was normal about the election of 2020, including the way in which the votes were counted and the losing incumbent's refusal to accept the results. Understandably, Americans have come to question the process through which their elections are run. Most may not understand the nuances of the process, but they are sure they do not like what they see. When most elections in modern democracies produce obvious winners, citizens in those countries accept the result and, by implication, the process through which the result was achieved. But what about when the voting does not produce a result that is so apparent? Elections in Belgium have produced highly fragmented results, making it difficult to form governing coalitions. In 2010, it took 541 days after the elections to negotiate a new Belgian government. After the coalition government broke down in 2018, it took 2 years to form a government. Between 2019 and 2022, Israelis went to the polls 5 times because none of the first 4 elections produced a stable governing coalition. These situations demonstrate the significance of elections for governing, but even more fundamentally, they point to the importance of understanding how and why elections function as they do. What difference do electoral rules make? What is the range of possible election systems? And how might reforms to election rules strengthen the principles that an electorate deems most important? The most important reason to study electoral rules is that they often impact the way in which an election is conducted, the result of that election, and the ability of citizens to effect policy change through the electoral process.